Hey guys, and welcome to the Porsche 944 live stream. I'm Brent, and today is October 26th, 2025, and just usually hang out and talk about cars. So hopefully everybody got the alerts, and will be joining me soon. It's a beautiful day here in Charlotte, a little bit cold. The leaves are finally coming off the trees. And as you can see, we've got an open space here right now, but don't worry, that's going to be filled up in about an hour. We've got a barn find coming in, and it's going to need pretty much everything. I don't know that it arrived during the live stream, but we'll see how that goes. But once a few people get in here, it usually gets pretty lively, and I'll take some of your questions, but just looking around the shop, you can see that it's very rare to see an open space in here. But I hope everybody's having a great Sunday. Go over here and turn the TV on. So it is football season, and every now and then I try and catch the game on Sundays. So I've got a TV over here, and I'll just go ahead and get it ready, even though it's not going to start for another hour. The live stream will be over then. But yeah, that's why I do the live streams when I do, so that way we can get them done and over with, so you guys can catch the game.
You ain't take me over where you gonna take me to? Right now you weren't charged, you are under arrest. I'll tell you what, give you some time.
Just turn that down a bit. We'll get the channel to come up. Still waiting for some people to come in. So I've been playing around with the day and the time. I do this live stream to see what works best for everyone. I did one last Saturday, and had a few people join in, but I didn't get the views that I normally do. So we're back to Sunday, and I think everybody likes Sunday afternoon live streams. So we'll just stick to that. Still working on this 89 2.7 liter here. Got new sensors coming, new intake gaskets, vacuum lines. The engine mounts are back on. I think last week when you saw this car, it was still being supported by the brace, but it's down now on new mounts. J Fusion says, hello everyone. Well, hello J Fusion. Hope you're having a great Sunday. This is a car we're just looking over and replacing some stuff on. As far as the engine goes, it's in pretty good shape. It was just time for some new sensors. The spark plugs were corroded, so it didn't run as smooth as it should have. Got the spark plugs changed, spark plug wires are coming. Motor mounts were completely gone, so we replaced those and we got it all back up now. So we just got to put the sensors on, the intake gaskets on, clean up the vacuum lines, get those back on, and we're done with the engine. Now it's suspension and brakes. We have the brakes tore apart down here. This car has all original paint. I had a hoodie on this morning, so my hair's a mess. Let's see, so here's what the brakes look like after we've had them redone. This is how they would have looked from the factory. We're gonna hone this out and put some new pistons in these. All the new hardware for the brakes. This is for all the engines that we build. Piston engine that we're building here with flat top pistons. A few other engines over here. Some over here. This is an 89 engine. 4 turbo, so it's essentially a Turbo S engine. So what's everybody working on today? Anybody got any winter projects? You just finished up your clutch, so how's it driving?
Yeah, fine. I think I have like 20 miles left until I've broken it. About that 500 miles on it.
Nice.
Be good, yeah.
So how bad of a job was it?
Mine was really easy based on the other videos because none of my bolts were seized or anything, so that made it a lot easier. Everything seemed to line up well, which was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the transmission jack definitely helps.
Yeah.
Put the transmission back in.
Well,
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, no, it was pretty good. Just took a while.
Did you get your suspension done yet?
No, I was gonna do it. I did it next weekend.
Yeah, we got to do the same thing to this car over here.
Yeah.
We're putting coning inserts in a later car, so that means we have to cut the top off, pull the insert out, drill a hole through the bottom, and do it that way.
Hopefully the rear is just 2 bolts, isn't it? Get them
Yeah.
put back on. Yeah. So hopefully that only takes.
Yeah, make sure you got an extra jack.
Yeah, to jack up.
Yeah.
That part. Yeah.
Yeah, because as soon as the shock's taken off, it just drops down, and your control arm needs to be brought back up.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
J Fusion says, I have an 87 turbo. I'm getting a stumble around 10 psi. Any pointers on what to check? Car ran fine before I ripped the J boot and clutch slave cylinder, master cylinder. I'm running a tile wastegate with a manual boost controller. So that is 10 psi all you're getting, or around 10 psi you start noticing a stumble? So for it to pop up suddenly, I would think that there's still maybe a vacuum leak somewhere. On some older live streams, I think we did a boost check. I couldn't remember which one it was. I always mean to go back after the live streams and rename them, but I just don't have time. We get buried in work around here.
It wasn't too long ago.
Yeah, it was a while. I guess it was back during the summer, because I think it was this car that was here, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was that red one.
Mm-hmm. But we had a car that was here was the gray turbo that just
Yeah.
left. That one would only build up about 10 psi on the cycling valve,
Yeah.
and it would kind of backfire, and didn't want to build up more boost than that. It would stumble, and what it ended up being was the actual throttle position sensor. As soon as we swapped that, well, I went out there and I checked it, and I went to wide open, and it was like 13,000 ohms when it's supposed to be 4.7. So swapped that out, and the car ran beautifully after that. So I wouldn't think that that would be the issue, since that's all he's changed is some stuff.
Yeah.
But
it's pretty easy to check anyway.
yeah, just check the vacuum. That's all I can think is. I've seen them stump. The turbos get a little convoluted. I had a guy call me from, I think he was out west, and he was working on a turbo. He has a garage out there, and he called me, and he was having the same issues that we had with that gray car. And I told him about the factory test plan. It's a separate book, and I can't find mine. I haven't seen it. We still haven't found that book.
Yeah.
It's been about 2 weeks ago. We were looking for it. I ended up just going online and finding the PDF. It's available online.
Yeah.
But I've got my own copy, but I don't know what I did with it. But it tells you pretty much how to diagnose everything on a 944 turbo. So it says boost controller is set at 10 psi, smoke checked it, and there is a small leak under the intake and the oil filter seals. Yeah, it's pretty bizarre. If you have it set to 10 psi and you're getting a stumble from a small boost leak, I mean, that could do it, but is it a slight stumble, or is it a pretty good stumble? Is it mostly uphill? Say, you're in fourth gear pulling up a hill around 45 miles an hour and it's stumbling under that boost, or you can be in second gear trying to drive, like accelerate, and it's a stumble. Another thing that might be worth checking into is like, how long has it been since you've had your fuel injectors cleaned? Because I would say like 90% of the time on the 944 turbos, we clean the injectors or replace a leaky injector, and it fixes the issue. Could be a injector that's leaking, just maybe getting stuck a little bit. And these things, these cars especially, the turbos, they do not like a stuck injector that's bleeding off any pressure. So it could be something that you're just not seeing. Take the camera off my face for a little while. Yeah, it's kind of a lazy Sunday. I'm kind of tired today. Should have done this yesterday when I had a little bit more energy, but I was so busy yesterday. I wasn't feeling too well, but here we are back at it. don't have a lot of stuff to show you guys. You've seen a lot of the stuff that's in here. And with this empty spot, I have less to show you. So he says it was stumbling at 6 psi and adjusted the DME to add 6% more fuel, and it runs better, but it's still stumbling 910 and in any gear. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. So you're having to add fuel. Okay, so how often is the car driven, and when's the last time you fueled up? So I asked this because if the car sits a lot, we got a car out here that just came in with brown fuel, and it's driven quite a bit, but I guess it's getting stuff out of the bottom of the tank from where it's sat. And could be something with just, you've got some bad fuel coming through, maybe the filter's clogged. So might be time to check the fuel filter and everything. So the plugs were white. Okay, well, that's interesting. That's yeah, you got a clogged filter or something going on with the fuel system. Probably time to for it to run fine but stumble in every gear. It might be time to just comb through the entire fuel system and check the fuel strainer. Okay, it's sat for years, but it hasn't been. Okay, some of that trash, or if it sits for years, sometimes it's kind of bizarre to run like that. But I mean, stranger things have happened. I would take the injectors and just I would check the fuel pressure first to make sure the regulator's working correctly. Usually when the regulators fail, you'll have a spike in pressure and it overloads the injectors and they shut off, so the car doesn't even want to run. But if it's just, you pull the vacuum hose off and you see any fuel spilling out, it may not be holding enough pressure. We had that problem also with another car. I forget which car that was now. We get so many 944 turbos. But we didn't have any fuel coming out of the vacuum line, and when we would put the fuel pressure tester on there, it would spike to what it's supposed to be and it would bleed off and the car would run lean. And so as soon as we shut the car off, I thought it was the check valve because I've never seen a pressure regulator at that way. So I was like, it looks like we're gonna have to replace the check valve at the fuel pump, because as soon as we shut the car off, it went down to zero, like immediately. And I'm like, that's usually when a regulator fails, but it's not always. They fail in a bunch of different ways. You'll start the car and run it, and you're supposed to have about 50 psi.
Yeah.
And once you start it up, it'll come. So if it's just sitting there on its own, if you turn the fuel pump on, like jumping it, you have about 50 psi. This one went up to like 40. Looked good. But as soon as we unplugged it, it went back down. And then when you start it, this should be about 18 to 20 psi in the rail because the injectors are firing. This one here had 18 to 20 psi idle. So I'm like, this looks good. Maybe the check valve is what's causing it to bleed back. Well, anyway, just for the heck of it, and there was nothing leaking outside of the regulator. But I thought, well, it's easier to change the regulator just to see. Put another regulator in there. Everything worked. Everything worked. It went way up to 50 like it should have instead of like the 30 that it was at, and then no longer bled pressure down. So it could be just something finicky with your regulator that you might not see until you get a set of gauges on it. And the other thing could just be a leaky or dirty injectors just from sitting for a long time. A lot of time. We had a car sit out here for 2 months and it didn't want to start. We had to go in and like soak the ends of the injectors, like the panels down in there. We had to soak them in gasoline and they freed up, and then the car ran just fine after that. But I don't like to sit, so it could be something like that. Maybe run some fuel system cleaner through there, but I would get some gauges on there just to see if the fuel pressure regulator is like slowly going out. But yeah, I just comb through there and see what's going on. It sounds like, it's definitely sounding like something with the fuel. So after 1988, they went to this style washer pump here. I don't know if you guys have seen this one. It's a little bit better design. No longer requires you to put the headlights up and then drop it out at the bottom. It just comes out right there. Just another thing they changed over the years. The early cars always had these welded in, and then after the turbo came out and the turbo doesn't use those, they did away with that and made it where it bolted in for the NAs. Yeah, no problem. I would definitely say you got a fuel system issue, and just comb through it. Should be good. Well, anyway, guys, that's going to do it for today's live stream. Thank you all for coming out, and maybe next week it'll be a little bit more exciting, but thank you guys for joining me anyway. Y'all have a great Sunday and a great week, and I'll see you then.